said earlier, I mean, we know everything they're trying to run. So we.
How do you guys know everything they're trying to run? Because of her right here with her hand on her damn face. That's how y'all know everything they're trying to run, because she damn me cheated. She came in, she was a spy, and she leaked everything. She cheated. She cheated. That's how y'all know. You wouldn't know shit if it wasn't for the...
They tried to make it about toughness. It turned into a lesson in spotlight control. Late in Fever Mercury, the building got quiet for a second. DeWanna Bonner stepped toward Caitlin Clark, chin up, shoulders squared, like a veteran laying down the law. Clark didn't flinch. No chest bump, no lecture. Just a calm, almost bored, move along, wave.
Then you see Caitlin Clark to the right, behind the coach, coming out and jawing at DeWanna Bonner. DeWanna Bonner says, yeah, it was a foul. And Clark is saying, no foul. Yes, it was a foul.
And boom, clip captured, timelines detonated. The story of the night changed in one gesture.
I'm pissed off. This is trash, bruh. DeWanna Bonner, who you think you is? Who you think you is trying to walk up on Caitlin Clark like that? Who you think you are? You ain't nothing but a scammer, a quitter, and a traitor. You got me twisted. I don't know who you think you are walking up on the GOAT talking crazy. You was just acting like a mentor to her when we brought you in. Us fans never even wanted your... Oh my God, we never even...
From a fan's seat, it felt familiar. Another veteran decides to welcome Clark to a league she's already carrying in year 2. Another attempt to rattle the player who sells out arenas just by lacing her shoes. But here's the twist. Moments like this don't bury Clark. They feed her. They harden her edges, galvanize the fan base, and, fair or not, pull the camera off the box score and onto the battle for narrative control. Bonner didn't just challenge Clark. She challenged the main character arc of the WNBA. And the main character rarely loses the edit.
I gotta admit, the end of the Fever Mercury game made me sit up for a second, because it got a little spicy with Caitlin Clark having an interaction with DeWanna Bonner out on the middle of the floor, sort of waving her back to the bench. I mean, the rest of the game was following a familiar script where the Fever fall behind and they fight back and they show the grit, but they lose to a team that has more talent than them at this point in time. But that interaction stood out to me for a couple of reasons. I mean, number one, obviously, is the history there, where DeWanna Bonner was on the Fever for a cup of coffee and then winds up on the Mercury. That after, before the season, Caitlin Clark said she wanted to win a ring for her.
Context matters. Indiana rolled into this one bruised and impatient. Fans have heard day to day more times than they've heard defensive stop. And the injury fog around the Fever has become its own subplot. Groins, ankles, minutes restrictions, the constant dance of she's close with no firm answers. While that's swirling, the Mercury are trending upward, trying to wring one last push out of a veteran core before the window closes. Stakes, pressure, frustration. Perfect ingredients for a petty spark.
Caitlin Clark's obviously saying something to the referee, and DeWanna Bonner is saying challenge or something, because it wasn't being challenged. Basically, I'm guessing DeWanna Bonner is saying basically if it's not a foul, challenge call. And eventually, Caitlin Clark midway brushes off DeWanna Bonner.
So when Bonner walked at Clark, it wasn't just two players jawing. It was old guard versus new gravity. It was a vet defending turf, and a star who doesn't need to say a word to own it. And it was a whistle crew doing the awkward statue routine, while the arena clearly saw what was happening. Fans didn't miss the irony. On nights when Clark eats a shoulder to the chest or a slap on the arm, we get nothing. On a night when a veteran initiates an on-court posture war, we still get nothing. Somehow, the lack of a call made the moment louder. You could almost hear the keyboards warming up. Clips hit X within minutes. Fever fans labeled it what it looked like. Another attempt to bully, polite word, Indiana's lightning rod. Mercury fans were split. Some loved the veteran bite, Some wondered why hand out free viral equity to the league's most memed player. Everyone else just knew exactly which 5 seconds would be on SportsCenter.
We got DeWanna Bonner, who was complete trash. She was a complete bum while she was wearing the Indiana Fever jersey. This lady was shooting threes, hitting the side of the backboard. She was trash while she was in Indiana Fever. We had to pull strings and pull teeth to help her break a record. We had to do all types of stuff to help her break the record. And you got the nerve to try to talk crazy to Caitlin Clark? Who the hell you think you is? DeWanna Bonner? Wasn't nobody watching your games? Nobody even knew who you was. Nobody even knew you. Stop.
Let's be clear. Bonner's resume is real. She's earned her stripes. No one's diminishing that. But this league runs differently when Clark steps into the frame. Every nudge becomes a still image, every smirk a GIF, every wave a headline. When veterans poke at her, it rarely reads as, "We're not backing down." It reads as, "We're acknowledging where the cameras live." Whether you like that reality or hate it, it is the reality. And the second Bonner pressed forward, she stepped into the content machine.
Yeah, man, Caitlin Clark told her, beat it, bum. Beat it. Beat it. You trash. You a quitter. And you a thief. You stole money from the Indiana Fever. You a thief in the night, DeWanna Bonner. You got some nerve trying to talk crazy to Caitlin Clark. She the only reason half the people even know you. Nobody knew you throughout your career. Wasn't nobody watching your games. I ain't never seen nobody in a DeWanna Bonner show. Nobody knew you, man.
Here's the other part fans can't shake. Indiana still lost. 5 Mercury players hit double figures. That's not a hot hand. That's a defensive scheme leaking from every seam. You can preach physicality, you can send messages, but if you're giving up balanced scoring like it's open gym, the message gets drowned out. That's where fan frustration shifts from opponents to the home bench. Coach Stephanie White, what's the plan when teams spread you across the floor and hunt whatever matchup they want? Because that's what Phoenix did. Simple actions, slot drives, drag screens, inside-out balance. And too often, the Fever looked a step late, like they were reacting to a scouting report from 2 weeks ago. Rotations came a beat slow. Low-man help didn't tag rollers. Switches didn't talk through. The result? Clean looks for their 5, and a clean path to a road win. You can call it youth, you can call it health. At some point, it becomes accountability.
19 points for DB. Comes to the squad, leaves disrespectfully, and the last 2 times we've seen her, she's been rubbing our nose in it. Yes, I left you. What are you gonna do about it? Not a damn thing, because your head coach is soft and weak and not a real coach. Your head coach quit on the Connecticut Sun. So I'm quitting on her.
Fans aren't asking for miracles. They're asking for visible adjustments. Stunt hard at the strong hand. Peel switch when the slip is coming. Throw a junk look for 3 possessions. Box and 1 on the hot initiator, triangle and 2 on their dual engines, just to disrupt rhythm. Send a surprise trap at half court after made free throws. Anything that says, we're not going to gift you comfort. Because night after night, Indiana's opponents look comfortable.
You're coming for the wrong one, ma'am. You need to be worried about those rusty knees of yours with that WD-40. You hear me? You need WD-40 in them knees. You're old, you was complaining about running up and down, running a fast-paced offense because you said it makes you tired. Okay, you almost 40. If you don't want to play up to your best and be great, I think you need to go find another team. You hear me? And clearly you did. You snaked your way out of the possibilities of probably winning.
And then there's Lexi Hull, the heartbeat that never seems to care what the discourse is. 35 minutes, 18 points, and a full tank defensive shift, while the online world obsesses over a wave. Hull is the player you appreciate more the longer you watch. She makes second sides matter. She turns 50-50 balls into 70-30 balls. She absorbs the worst assignment and asks for more. When games tighten, she doesn't blink. If there's a Fever player who deserves more front-page love out of this chaos, it's Lexi. Bonner jawed. Clark waved. Hull hooped.
Felt like she couldn't fit with the rotations of the team. She's upset that Lexi Hall took her spot. That's the truth. Little blonde girl from next door, took her spot. That's what it was. Well, Lexi Hall is a good basketball player. I think she earned that spot, in my opinion, and she's shooting very well from the three. She's an excellent three-point shooter this season. She's a sniper this season. And she hustles, she gets rebounds, she gets steals. She puts her heart.
Yet the playback loop doesn't honor nuance. It never has. Sports culture eats symbols, not subtleties. The symbol from this one wasn't Phoenix's balanced scoring or any ATO masterpiece. It was a veteran getting waved away, and the crowd reacting like they'd seen the next episode of a show they can't stop watching. That's the Clark effect. You can beat her team and still lose the night. You can score 19 and still see your face under captions you didn't write. Is that fair? Depends who you ask. Is it real? Absolutely.
I don't even care about you not playing in Indiana no more. It's just like the way you did this shit, man. You sat out, stopped coming to work, walked out of your $200K contract, all of this shit, stayed at home wherever the fuck you were because you weren't scissoring enough with Alyssa Thomas, man. And then to sit up here and grant her wish to go and scissor with her lover on another team, this would never happen in the NBA. This is why I have such a hard time respecting this women's basketball shit to the full degree, because no other league around the world in sports does shit like.
Zoom out and the pattern is hard to ignore. From Kennedy Carter's shoulder to Angel Reese's chirps to every random hand check that turns into discourse, players keep donating content to Clark's fault. The more it happens, the more fans dig in, the more neutral viewers tune in, and the more opponents look like antagonists in a story they never intended to join. It's not about sainthood. Clark is competitive, chirpy, and ruthless between the lines. It's about leverage. She knows one wave can swing attention more than a run-of-play three. She knows restraint reads louder than escalation. She knows you can win the camera even when you lose the scoreboard. That's brand literacy. And a lot of vets still think the old rules apply.
This version of DeWanna Bonner was not the version of DeWanna Bonner that was on the Indiana Fever. And, you know, kind of like sucks to see because she essentially did quit on the team with a lot of people excited that she was on the team. Like, I remember Kelsey Mitchell saying, I have the best vet in the world in DeWanna Bonner. I remember Caitlin Clark saying, I really want to win a chip for DeWanna Bonner, knowing that she's in, like, you know, the moonlight of her career. So it does feel like there are a lot of personal feelings when going up against Bonner, when going up.
What about the officiating? Fans see inconsistency and call it bias. Some of that is emotion. Some of it is film. The standard shifts quarter to quarter. Contact she takes wouldn't be tolerated in other contexts. Touch fouls she commits somehow find a whistle. When that's the baseline, confrontations feel more combustible because players don't trust the refs to manage temperature. If crews won't protect space, the stars will. That's when the side-eye becomes a stare-down. That's when the bump becomes a posture. And that's when a nothing exchange becomes the game's defining image. Put yourself in a Fever fan's shoes. You're paying top dollar. You're watching your star get tagged all season. You're hearing recycled injury updates with no clarity. You're seeing winnable games slip while opponents stack 5 in double digits. And then, like clockwork, a veteran decides to make a moment of your player, again. You don't just boo, you organize, you clip, you trend. You turn that second of condescension into a week of content because somebody needs to flip the power dynamic. That's what the internet does for fan bases now. It evens the scales.
DeWanna Bonner, you're a sore loser. You're obviously not a competitor. You were brought in as a vet and expected your tenure to be able to save your starting spot, even though you haven't been able to deliver because you're not the same DeWanna Bonner you were fucking 5-6 years ago. You want to have a stank ass nasty attitude because the girls around you are better than you, younger than you, and are playing better. Take your piss poor attitude on. The Indiana Fever locker room doesn't need that. You're not owed a spot in the WNBA on a roster because of your tenure. You're not owed a spot on the roster because you're one of the vets that laid the foundation. Veterans always want to talk about how they want to protect the league and how they want to set the league up and they want to take care of it and leave it better for the next generation. Putting the best players on the floor.
Now imagine being Phoenix. You executed, you won, you climbed. But your storyline is the one screen grab you wished didn't exist. That's why this was instant regret. Not because Bonner can't stand up for herself, she can. Not because she didn't play well, she did. It's regret because the exchange gave away the one thing Phoenix didn't need to hand Clark: oxygen. As for Clark, she'll keep stacking these micro wins because she understands the math. The league needs her more than she needs any particular moment. So she saves her breath, picks her spots, and lets opponents supply the drama. It's judo. Use their momentum against them. You saw it in the wave. No chatter, no scene. Just a gesture that said, "I'm not moving." You can read as dismissive to some, composed to others. It read as control to everyone.
Bonner won on this. Caitlin can't talk from the bench. When you quit on a team like DeWanna Bonner did, anyone can talk. Anyone can talk no matter what. When you quit like DeWanna Bonner did, everyone has the right to talk. I mean that. Everyone has the right to talk when you quit like DeWanna Bonner did on the Fever. Absolutely. Absolutely. Anyone. You don't just quit on a team on a personal level. It isn't basketball. Doing what DeWanna Bonner did and not even texting the team when she did it, that's not basketball.
Credit where it's due, Phoenix played smart basketball. They didn't chase hero shots. They trusted structure. That's how you beat a team learning to close. And for opponents tempted to play gatekeeper, stop donating free content. If you win, let the scoreboard be the clip. Because as long as players keep stepping into Clark's orbit to send a message, fans will keep doing what fans do, turning one wave into the only thing anyone remembers. So yes, call it what it was, instant regret. Not because Bonner is soft, she's not. Because the modern game isn't just about muscle. It's about media literacy. It's about who understands the economy of attention. On that front, Clark is already elite. She doesn't need to shout to win the frame. She just needs a second. And that's the part that sticks with you walking out of the arena. The Fever didn't get the W. The Mercury did what they came to do. But when the lights dimmed, all anyone talked about was that tiny, ruthless motion. The wave that said everything without saying a word. Fans felt it. Opponents felt it. The league felt it. The lesson is sitting there for whoever wants it. Play basketball and make your wins undeniable. Or step into the spotlight and watch it burn you first. What's next? Clean up the rotations. Name the timelines. Build the identity. Protect your star within the system, not after the whistle. And if someone walks up again looking for a scene, let the cameras roll. The main character already knows her lines.